So Garoppolo's season is over. On the same day that Rap Sheet tweeted, "Oh, Garoppolo could be back in 23," he breaks his. Well, I don't know what happened. Somebody DM me said they know what happened. But season-ending foot surgery.
I think if you also type in Jimmy Garoppolo, I think Cam Inman or Eric Branch, I think Kyle expanded a little and said that he has a few issues in that old foot because I told you before we hopped on that, when a guy gets destroyed or tears an ACL or whatever, you experience the injury as the fan, the players, everyone sees it when a guy goes down, and those are awful. No one roots for that at all. But when an injury happens, I would say like Jimmy, right? Jimmy gets sacked. It doesn't look good. No one gets, one side untouched. Yet McGlinchey's guy, who he's blocking, gets there basically at the same time. I mean, it's got to be hard to, again, untouched. McGlinchey's guy get to Jimmy same time. Both fall on him. And then they come back from break, and you see Jimmy. They show the little montage of him kind of squinting on, the heated benches. Obviously, they're probably not on for the 49er game, but where players sit. And then he goes off in the cart. And my first thought is maybe he sprained his ankle, and they'll go back there and wrap it, and we'll see him in like a series. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, maybe they can just go back there. He can take a little shot, wrap that bad boy up, and come back out.
Yeah.
Obviously, they change a quarter in the injury from ankle to foot, and then they immediately go out after you had an inside source. To me, once they go out foot and you had the source and you text me like, I heard his broken foot, I just went, I bet he broke his foot. Yeah. And a broken foot could be as simple as like a little crack in a foot, right? The pain. It doesn't have to be a shattered of a foot.
Right. You never know if it's just like a metatarsal. Again, just trying to sound smart, but he'll be out. He'll need surgery. Broke a few things in there. That's the quote.
I would say that's not great, right?
Right.
I understand these injuries are random. I really do. And both the quarterback injuries are random. How is it fucking possible, guy, that your two quarterbacks to start the year, one goes out with a broken ankle, the other guy breaks his foot? I watch football all day today. It's just Joe Burrow playing around, Mahomes playing around, Derek Carr playing around, Herbert playing around. They lose both their quarterbacks to broken lower extremities. And last year, both these guys got injured. Like, it's just how you watch football all weekend long. Hell, even Caleb, bad hamstring injury, is able to like finish the game. And even Lincoln's like, who knows, maybe he's out won't play in the bowl game, but it's like all these quarterbacks. Cam Rising took the biggest hit probably of the season, college or pro. Just hops back up. Niners, fucking weird hit, out for season. Another weird hit, out for season. It's pretty fucking nut. Tua, we thought Tua died. He's literally just been the starting quarterback the last like 5 weeks.
Well, every game I watch, it happened to him today. Twice he gets bent in half.
He just hops. Yeah, I'm Tua. I'm good. Let's go. Niners, boom. Out for the season. Out for the season. It's unheard of. I mean, it's insane. It's the
Except
Niners.
It's not unheard of with Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Because Jimmy doesn't play full seasons historically. How many full seasons has he played? One?
Yeah, I mean, he gets hurt a lot. But it's just over and over. Even if I give you a lot of injured guys, just to get injured, he gets injured like the corner, Barrett, who just every single year tears an ACL or tears an Achilles or breaks an ankle or something. That's Jimmy.
I told you I had bad vibes when I saw that Rap Sheet story today that Jimmy will be back in 23, and my first thought was like, he's got to make it through the year, which is always my thought with Garoppolo. It's always my thought with him. He's got to make it through the year. Any given Sunday, he can get hurt, which is the case for any player on any given Sunday, but specifically for him because it's happened every year. It just has.
I would say I think there's two ways to look at it, right? Individually for this guy's career, coming off a season where he kind of miraculously earned a lot of credit, even though his numbers and the eye test didn't look great. And then he has this offseason from like Jesus, where it's like, is this the greatest teammate we've ever seen? Like, I mean, honestly, we had never seen anything ever, and you'll never see anything like that again.
It was Alex Smith plus.
Yes, it was fucking insane. Then he just to get on the field, obviously they have a devastating injury. They celebrate his comeback, and then he's having a really, really good season. And part of that Rap Sheet article, I started thinking like, clearly there are going to be some teams that are going to be interested in him. His market, he's not going to just be like a 1 year, $15 million quarterback. It's going to be pretty complicated. And now it goes all the way back to ground zero because from a league standpoint, it's like you can't invest a multi-year contract in this guy. And from a 49er standpoint, he's proving to you every time you kind of get your hopes up. And I'm not putting blame on him. Like, it's a freaky deal where the guy goes untouched and McGlinchey got fucking smoked. But so ACL injury ended his season. A couple years ago was an ankle injury, remember, ended his season. And this year, a broken foot ended his season. Like, that's 3 out of the last 6 years. Season enders in season. Last year was pretty miraculous. He was able to like play with, what did he have? He had the bad thumb and he had one other thing he was dealing with.
Was it
shoulder?
Yeah,
shoulder.
So, and again, we got a game to talk about. There's a season to try and figure out, but in a weird way, does it make
this is the biggest injury of the day, I would imagine, right?
Well, Lamar, I don't know. Did Lamar tear? What happened to Lamar today?
I don't know. Left, never came back.
Yeah, limped off. But does it make it more likely? This will be a conversation over the next several months. More likely or less likely that he's back on the 49ers?
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know.
Because to me, if the injury makes him less attractive as a free agent, which it could, but it's early December, a broken foot, we'll see. You get that fixed pretty quickly. He could be back ready for free agency. If there's any world where he is discounted, he's back on the team, right? The way he's not a Niner is if he's too expensive for them. That's the number one way he's not a Niner.
And it's weird, right? They just beat one of the better teams in the league record-wise, are 8-4. And we're already talking about the offseason, but are they just going to roll back with these 2 injured quarterbacks? And because this injury, I mean, in theory, like, he could be full go by like OTAs, right? Honestly, this injury, he might be ready by this, it's like best case scenario, he'd be ready by middle of January, depending. Who knows? I mean, maybe they find out there are ligaments and stuff in there. To just say he's out for the season, like, when you say that, I mean, you're counting like you're 8-4 playoffs. I mean, that's 2 months. Is that the way you take it?
I take it like he's not. Yes, that's how I take it. Right? Yeah.
That's the way I take it, I guess. I honestly haven't really let it sink in. But when you just automatically say out for the season, you go, listen, he's going to have surgery on his foot and we'll figure it out from there. Obviously, it's, if Kyle had said he's got surgery tomorrow on his foot, we'll know more about that. Obviously, he's out for the immediate future. You'd go, okay, let's see, maybe it's a 3 or 4 week injury, like, a broken bone in a foot, little heel. That's not the way the vibe that everyone's, Kyle's talking, definitely.
Right.
And to me, it's not the vibe when a guy has an injury sometimes. That when they go out, that's a devastating way to, when they flip, he's questionable to come back with an ankle to he's out. It's like, oh, they found something.
Yeah, and generally, like, breaks, you can identify pretty quick, right? You're not waiting on an MRI to confirm an ACL on a Monday or whatever. A break is usually a pretty quick diagnosis for them.
Someone that broke my big toe on the wall, there's the pain tolerance. It's not easy, guy.
Did you channel your inner Kobe Bryant? Is that what happened?
No, I just complained about it for like 3 weeks as I limped around.
Yeah. So I take it like he's not coming back for them this year. And I don't know that it makes it any less or more likely that he's back for them ever again. I would say a broken foot's probably not quite like a shoulder injury where you need to see a guy's, arm strength. Obviously anybody that signs him in the future will want to see a clean physical. But I do think one thing is clear for the Niners.
Probably his best injury he's ever had, right?
Yeah. Whatever you do in 2023, whether Garoppolo is gone, whether Garoppolo is back, we'll see how Brock Purdy's season plays out. You have to be equipped with 2 quarterbacks because Trey Lance has, albeit a short career, but an injury history in it, right? That's what he has currently. Now, a career plays out, and some guys get hurt early and never get hurt again, and some guys just get hurt throughout, which is the situation with Garoppolo. With Jimmy, it's not like, it's weird, right? It's not Javon Kinlaw. Like, the same knee is just an issue constantly.
Like 17 different things.
Yeah. But, you could argue is part of the way you combat that. You really upgrade your offensive line. Well, Trey Lance got hurt running the football by design, right? You said, and you're probably right, I need to watch it again, that there's really no blame. Like, there really wasn't anything Jimmy could do. I thought it was ironic that in his article with Mike Silver this week, he said he's more mature because he throws the ball away now. Now, maybe in that situation, there wasn't time to do anything. A throwaway.
The guy went untouched.
Yeah.
And And then he scrambled to McGlinchey's side, and McGlinchey got smoked. So he just kind of got engulfed. And I would say, in fairness, like Purdy ran into one that was pretty bad. McGlinchey, hey,
Spun
even
into
if it's
one, yeah.
even if it's not your fault, how about you pick up your guy? Like McGlinchey's kind of like his body language, not great for an offensive lineman. Doesn't pick him up. Like even once Trent Williams went nuts on with Purdy. It's like, let's show a little fire if you're gonna get smoked all the time. To me, you got to replace that position. That is getting guys killed.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I do think just on the eye test, Purdy probably moves a little better than Jimmy. Little quicker. I don't know. We're not talking about 4.40 guys. Jimmy's less reluctant to move. I think he tries to sit in the pocket. Probably a little more coached up. They kind of mentioned on the broadcast, like they've really tried to tell Purdy, like, you're not allowed to play like this anymore, bro.
And then on the first series, he tried to pull a Brett Favre throw across his body.
If I would have told you that at the beginning of the season that the Niners are going to be 8-4, you would have been everyone would have signed up for it. But Brock Purdy is going to carry the load moving forward. That would have been pretty crazy to hear.
Yeah. So you're going to get Brock Purdy against Tom Brady next week,
especially if I would have told you once the season started, so you knew that Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance were on the team. Again, this is I keep getting back to. I don't know why. I'm not trying to act like I'm not mad. I can't blame anybody. It's just it's insanity to lose two quarterbacks with broken extremities from ankle to the foot. Like that's just unheard of in sports, guy. In high school, in college, in the pros. Like I bet if you and I ran a team, and we took a guy tomorrow, like when we got into the office, we're John Lynch. Could you do a study and find out how many college or NFL teams the last 20 years have lost two quarterbacks in season to season-ending injuries?
And what
it can't be many.
Information?
I just want to know how often it happened because I think there'd be a chance it's never happened. So it's like, what are we doing
with that information?
Well, you always need to gain information to then try to make decisions because the decisions that you're making right now, because like you said with Jimmy Garoppolo, like today's a freak deal, 100% it is, but this is the third time in 6 years that his season ends on injured reserve, more than likely, right? Like that's just a fact. And for whatever reason, like I said, all these guys from Tom Brady to Aaron Rodgers, like none of these guys' seasons ever really end on injured reserve. They have like 18-year careers, maybe one time.
You think they need to do more flexibility training? But he broke his foot. It's not a tendon, right? He broke his foot.
Again, I'm not coming with a conclusion to what
enough milk. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not coming to a conclusion here. I'm just saying something.
Calcium pills?
There's a red flag somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Irrelevant is their starting quarterback after they traded 3 first-rounders and somehow they miraculously were able to re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo. At 8-4, Mr. Irrelevant is the quarterback. That's insanity.
It's like this crazy loop because they're in this position in part because who knows what their record would be with Trey, right? But we had this Jimmy Garoppolo resurgence because Trey Lance got hurt. Now maybe Trey was going to lose his job to Jimmy at some point. Hard to say. But like Jimmy got the opportunity to have this resurgence because the same exact thing, not the same exact thing, but the thing happened to. What if I told you Geno Smith and Brock Purdy will be battling for first place in mid-December?
That's a fact. I I wouldn't have believed it, but now I'm living in it. It's trying to take it all in. I mean, now that we sit here and have the news, we can dive into Purdy's game here in a second. Obviously, this completely changed their trajectory as like a powerhouse Super Bowl contender in the NFC, in my opinion.